Let's talk about it live. Ready? Go. All right. Good afternoon. This is Let's Talk About It with Alice. Thank you so much for joining in. Please do a favor and hit the share button and share this with someone. It's going to be great. It's going to be short and quick, but we're going to talk about some things that are relevant, some things that are happening, and really some things that you're interested in. So this, remember, Let's Talk About It is about live conversations. It's all about sharing information, being supportive, educational, and it's a platform for all ages, especially women. And we also have some men that'll be coming on. So just our common interest, everything that's interest from professional, from every aspect of life. This is what Let's Talk About It is about. So we want you to join in with us. We got Terry on tonight. We've got Shawana on, and we're going to let it rip. We also got something coming up next week that you are going to be, it's going to be, just kind of life-changing about your thoughts. So let's go on. We provide great discussions. We want you to, tonight, we want to shout out to all the graduations all across the greater metropolitan Atlanta area. We say to our 2021 graduates, okay, shout out. So if you got a 2021 graduate, please put the name in the comments so we can shout out to them. We are celebrating the graduates, everything that they have achieved and their bright, fun future that's ahead of them. So we say best wishes to you as you celebrate the moments that lead to your new beginning. And this is to all the graduates from, elementary, high school. And so we just say, join in, put the name in the comment, share this with someone, just let someone know. Let's talk about it with Alice's on. Let's get the conversation started.
I want to verbally give a congratulations to Miss Chelsea Banks. One of my girlfriends, Stephanie, sent me a graduation card for her. My other girlfriend, these are my college girlfriends. Laurel, she's graduating. She's a senior. That's Kim's daughter.
All right.
Oh, wow.
Yay.
I believe that.
Yeah.
So graduating this year. I think Laurel, she's going to North Carolina A&T. She's, I believe, on a full scholarship there for.
Okay.
Kelsey, she's going to Temple University on a full scholarship up there.
Is that Stephanie's daughter?
Yeah, that's Stephanie's daughter.
Yay.
And
celebration.
Anaya Barney, she's out in Texas. These are families in Texas. Their daughter.
Okay.
And Dave Robertson, his son is graduating as Jesus.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So come on, people, put your child's name, cousin, niece, nephew, sister, brother, everybody, put their name in the chat so we can say, woo! Shout out to all the 2021 graduates. So we just want you to celebrate with us the 2020-21 graduates. All right. Yay. That's what we're excited about. Brittany, Brittany graduated. Shout out to Brittany. And shout out, to Marjay. All right.
Marjay,
shout out to Marjay as well. I was talking with a friend of mine, and she said one of her girlfriend's daughter got a full scholarship, biomedical engineer to, are you ready for this? Georgia Tech University.
No
Can you
way.
believe it?
Okay.
Our children are doing it.
That's not an easy school to get in. Ooh, wait.
So we're talking, young people, go for it.
And look at the
sky is the limit.
Selena with her master's.
Selena, that's right. Selena, oh my goodness, Selena.
Yeah.
So
Brandon Watkins got his
Brandon Watkins, all right.
Zoe Watkins graduated today from Spelman.
No.
What?
Yep.
Wow. Look
The
at
sister.
that.
Yeah.
Lots of
Yeah.
graduates. So listen.
Daughter Ivy, is it Ivy? She graduated just before that, 2 years ago from Spelman.
Who's that?
Yeah.
Ivy.
Right. So,
Okay.
first, just put the names in the comments so that we can
Yeah.
do a shout out to them, to all of those that are graduating this year. So we
Evelyn,
just,
Jeremy's mom had 3 graduates,
What?
2 sisters and a
Wow.
brother.
Oh,
They all
Wow.
graduated.
yes, that's awesome. I mean,
is
I
really
just
awesome.
applaud these young people. And the
Yeah.
reason why I applaud the young people is because they persevered during a pandemic.
During a pandemic. Yep.
That
Yeah.
right there is just enough to celebrate.
Yeah.
Young people, you did something that none of us have ever experienced, a pandemic, continuing to go to school and stay
Yeah.
encouraged,
Right.
and pressing to graduate.
Even
No
going-
graduation last
Yeah.
year, and then a lot of young people did come back.
And then they had, and
graduate.
the worst thing, they had to do it virtually too. So
Yes.
no, that's even harder.
But I applaud all of our children that transitioned virtually.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
not easy. And
No, it's
you
not.
applaud the teachers and
The
those
teachers as well.
educators that had to make it happen. They had to transition.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
They had to make it happen, and they did. So shout out to all the educators, all the teachers,
Yep.
everyone. Yes.
Should-
Because
Pardon
there's big transition even for parents.
Yes.
Yes, yes, because your
absolutely.
children had to be home.
Wow, parents, you
Shout out to
get,
them.
I don't even know, hats are off to you. And the reason was that was not easy. It was a struggle. And some children suffered different kinds of emotional, or different kinds of emotions during that time. But for parents to help their children to keep it together.
Oh, shout out
I had
to Kim Flanagan. Her daughter graduated from. You saw that? Yes. And
Come on,
Kyra,
shout out.
Tamika
Come on,
Kyra
just
graduated.
shout out. If you
Yes.
got someone, put it in the comment so that we can celebrate. So thank you, thank you, thank you. This was celebration time for our graduates of 2021, going on to a bright future to everyone. Children had to also do this Georgia milestone for Georgia. It was crazy. Testing and all of that. So they persevered and they made it. But then the shout out is to the churches. All right. Churches had to make a transition too.
That's
and
true.
for those, for the pastors, we shout out to you and still trying to get it together and bring people back. We won't ever get back to a normal. This is going to be a new normal, not the same. So never expect that. So we're excited about it. Join in with the conversation about, you got someone that's in. Also, let's shout out to, no, not a shout out. Let's get started on something.
Let's talk about.
The
Huh?
CDC.
I
And
can't hear you, Shawana.
I said, let's talk about the CDC and these new guidances that have been.
Yeah, let's talk about these masks. This
Go
mask.
for it. Go for it.
What are your thoughts?
Your vax, you don't have to wear your mask.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. The mask.
Yeah.
The mask.
To wear it or not to wear it? That's the question.
That's the question. Wear it or not to wear it.
Well, me
Anybody
personally,
have any conversation about that?
I'm wearing my mask still. Although
Yeah.
I've been vaccinated, I'm gonna still wear my mask just to be on the safe side until they say, hey, no more corona.
You've been fully vaccinated.
Fully vaccinated, but I'm still wearing my mask because I just don't trust all this.
All right. What's your thoughts about that?
Yeah.
Joanna?
Well, okay.
Go ahead, Terry.
Well, I just feel like, for the people that haven't been vaccinated, and then even the ones that went for the first shot, they're not going, a lot of people are not going back for the second shot. Why? So therefore, I don't know who hasn't been vaccinated versus who has. So I just think it's a safe precaution just to keep wearing it, and especially when you're inside or around other people, but a lot of the businesses are still making you wear your mask before you come in. You still have to.
Should they?
So this is my personal opinion.
Okay.
And this is not an opinion of anybody. It's only an N of one, Shawana. I am royally confused by these guidances that have been sent out.
You are confused?
Being in the medical profession, I am royally confused because it
Right.
makes absolutely no sense where this thing went down. The reason I'm confused is, so we say that we want herd immunity, and that means you need to get about 75% of the US population vaccinated to
Vaccinated.
herd immunity for people to really get back to whatever this norm is going to be within the country. We did not reach herd immunity. We have 55% of the US population have only gotten one dose. They've not gotten the second dose. How long does that last? You also have, what do they say? You have over 50,000 plus people that are still testing positive for COVID, over 30,000 that are still in the hospital. These were our numbers, in the spring of last year when this thing really kicked off. You know, what we're saying is safe for everybody to just go ahead and take off their mask and operate. I think it was a misstep personally. I was looking at an article by Sanjay Gupta where he basically thought that it was a misstep, that it shouldn't have been as, that they said that basically in and out of pretty much any situation, people can stop wearing their mask, those that have been vaccinated, but you cannot differentiate those that have been vaccinated versus those that have not been vaccinated. There's no way nobody's going to be out there policing people going in and out of stores. You can't pay enough people to do that. It'll be just mass mayhem. So I think personally that it was premature that they did that. I think the way that the guidance was delivered was probably not in the best way, because I think it just created more confusion and even more concern, even by people that have been vaccinated, because at the end of the day, even those that have been vaccinated can still get COVID and pass it to other people. So it's just,
and that's my concern too. You're right.
Yeah, I just think it created confusion. I don't think that they didn't put in my mind enough information out there to alleviate the concerns of the people. So I just think that it just created more confusion, and now they're leaving it in the hands of the states, which I understand. But again, that creates more confusion because people travel from state to state, and you're going to have different guidances from state to state. It's just too much. It's too confusing right now for me. But that's just me.
Well, I think Lori, she said in her comment, she said, I am wearing my mask. She said, I think numbers will go up because everyone is not vaccinated, but will use this as an excuse as well, not to wear the mask. And she said, that's not fair to other people. So as a result of that, I was talking with someone was telling me that down in Dougherty County, remember the first hard hit county in Georgia, said that they are not now reporting these numbers from the hospital, but that over 900 cases are there in that particular county.
See?
Already, and they're not reporting that. So we're going to see that they're not. I think this was a political move, and I think that the CDC was pressured politically to do this. And of course, it doesn't seem, I saw something where it doesn't seem that Dr. Fauci was all pleased with that move.
A lot of the people in the healthcare arena are not in agreement with what just took place. I think that it wasn't fully baked, I think that there was still more things that needed to transpire before they actually made a decision like that. And to make it as, the way it just went down was just really interesting. And so you could see that Fauci was on one end of the spectrum, and or at least halfway, and the CDC director was on another end. The way that it was pushed through, not to say that anybody was right or wrong, but you could truly say that it wasn't a fully baked plan. It was
Yes.
poor. It should have been more discussion with the healthcare,
Mhm.
with the everyone that's out there, as well as even with businesses. I just think that it was just not a fully baked plan. So I think that they needed to have really worked through all the details, or as many of them as possible, before
Mhm.
kind of like went out there and just say, oh, anybody can now, go out there, if you've been vaccinated, quote unquote. And it's like, okay, really? Seriously? So how do
I
you,
went to the grocery store yesterday and I was like taken back.
yes, ma'am.
All the non-mask wearers, people trying to walk up to you and talk like, oh, you
I think not.
and of course I'm fully vaccinated, but it's what do you do now? Thing
let me
is
ask
that I know that we trust God and believe God, but this
Right.
thing right here has really hit, and over 500,000 people,
Yeah,
lives
and
been
it killed
lost.
so many
And I
people.
know that
Yeah.
at some point we got to get back to it, because remember pandemics, they've had pandemics back, in the 1800s and what have you, and they were able to get through that and did not have the technology, or did not have the, the kind of, I would say, medical knowledge that they have now. And so it's a
Right.
whole lot different. So I think that for people to get a herd immunity, you've got to get enough people that will agree to it. We're looking at what's happening over in India, and that's really
Oh, it's bad over there.
something that's going on there. And so it's just a conversation. What do y'all think?
that I,
To wear the mask or not to wear the mask
yeah,
is the question.
the other thing that is really interesting is when you look in countries like Asia, their numbers are not like the US.
Mm.
Why is that? Their numbers are not like the US. They're not like Europe. They're not like India. I mean, their numbers are very sparse. I mean, for all we know, I mean, maybe they're not reporting. You just never know. But at the end of the day, when you talk to different people, the numbers are not like it. So it's like, what did they do that we could not learn from?
Yeah.
Would
Okay.
could be better. I just think at the end of the day, to your point, Mom, I just put my faith, my hope, my trust in God, and that divine protection comes from Him. So I think just medically, I just questioned the decision of that communication and how it went out, and I can't wrap my arms around the statistics and the numbers and the meaning of the numbers in how they were preaching herd immunity and preaching all these different things, but yet we backpedaled, and now we're basically saying, you know, there's no necessarily herd immunity. So there's no real reason or incentive for those that have not gotten vaccinated to go get vaccinated, although they're thinking that this would incentivize people to go get vaccinated.
Right.
To me, it's having the opposite effect.
And then what about the children being vaccinated? Now they have for them to be vaccinated as well.
Yeah, the data, what they have studied in the limited amount that they could study is no issues whatsoever. But at the end of the day, nobody know long-term effects of any of this. It's
Well,
a big open experiment. I think, and not in a negative way, it's they're getting a lot more data than even in original vaccine trials. The way that it's going, so you should be able to pick up if there's something, or if there is,
Right.
like what happened with the J&J, and so you should be able to pick up stuff. But you still, at this point, they don't have long-term data. We only have 6 months, 8 months data.
Mhm.
There's no real long-term data, so you don't know what this could do. You don't know, in children in the long. Nobody knows, and nobody knows when. If you got to get a booster, is it going to be like the flu? Do I have to go every?
Right.
You
How
know,
long does it last? So,
well,
a lot of
it's
things that have
one of those conversations that people have to keep talking about. I just say every man has to be persuaded by his own man. You decide.
That's true. That's true.
You decide whether you're gonna keep your mask on or take it off.
I'm proud of
I
y'all.
ain't taking mine off.
What you say, Shawana?
I'm proud of y'all for getting vaccinated. Very proud.
Yes,
yeah,
Yay!
because you haven't been
Yeah.
vaccinated yet, huh?
Yeah, and that's a great thing.
Uh-huh.
So,
Morgan got vaccinated. Chris got vaccinated. Good job.
Sheena said, I got my first vaccine last week, and I will continue to wear my mask after
Me
the
too.
second dose. Good for you, Sheena. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah, that's right. I am too. I don't blame
What
you.
you say, Shawana?
No, I haven't. I will when I feel led. I just, and when I have to, I will when I have to. I know I have to start traveling soon. And so at that point I'll do it. But
And you're gonna,
Yes,
yeah,
right,
you're gonna have
right.
to.
yeah, I
And
don't,
that's it. And I've heard other people say the same thing. Said, when I start traveling, I will get mine. Right now, I
Because they
have
were
to.
trying to say something about having a thing on your passport saying that you got vaccinated, or to travel, even domestically, you have to show your card or
But-
whatever,
but-
or something like that.
But have you
But you
heard
still gotta
this?
wear your mask.
But have you heard this? They're saying keep your a vaccine card close to you because people are stealing those cards. They can picture. They say keep, huh?
you can order them online.
We can't hear you, Shawana.
I
You
said
can order,
them online.
Yeah,
yeah.
but they be saying that they just caught that. They
Yeah.
just caught
Yeah, this
that.
person was selling them out of his business, and I think it was Texas, one of those states. He was selling them out of his $20 a card.
Lori said, waiting to get my second dose. Good for you, Lori. So they selling them out the car.
He was selling them out of his business. He had a restaurant, some type of bar and lounge or whatever, and people were going in there buying them, $20
Right.
a pop. They caught him though.
That's nuts.
Well, Sheena said that, Shawana, you sound like her granny. She have to. Now, granny is, I think, 90. How old is granny? 90.
Granny said she ain't getting it.
And say, but laying all jokes aside,
Question. Let me ask this question. The thing that I think for me, the thing that is even more confusing is we have the ability to test antibodies in people. And I truly believe that a lot of people have had had COVID in some way, shape, or form. And
didn't
for
know it.
some reason, we're not doing any kind of antibody testing to even see where that exists or what's happening. I don't get that. I mean, I just have
let
too
me
many questions personally.
let me just say to you, I believe last year in December I had COVID, okay, and didn't even know I had COVID. I had taken the flu shot in October, and in November I couldn't breathe. I was out for a week, and I
was for longer than a week. It was
out how long?
It was almost 2 weeks, Mom, that you were. You may have been you could not, a good week, you were, kind of like staying in the house, but you were just like, though you're breathing, you're talking. I mean, everything was horrible. And you got tested for the flu. It wasn't flu. Tested for strep and all these things. And it wasn't any of that.
None of that.
Well, I was sick January.
And they couldn't test me for COVID because it had not come.
It had not, right.
It
and I
was
was
out,
sick in
but they didn't
January
tell
like
us.
that. But she said I had bronchitis, so I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Nobody knew what to test. Same thing for us. Ian, me, my whole house. We were all messed up.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
The first
Yeah.
first part of last year. But we got tested for strep, we got tested for the flu, nothing. It was a virus.
Mhm.
Nobody knew what
The
it was.
coronavirus.
Yeah.
So what was it?
The coronavirus. He said it was a virus.
For people, but and I know some people are getting it done and the tests are, hit or miss. That's the other problem and the other challenge I think we face. But anyway, I know we beat this course long enough. So
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the next topic for next week?
we're talking about next week. Oh my gosh. Next week is going to be absolutely amazing. We are bringing some people online. We're talking about sexual abuse next week. And we encourage you to be a part of that conversation. There are so many people that have been abused. You would never know it. But you want to talk about that, Mom, just briefly, because I know that's the conversation next week.
Well, yes, and this is so awesome because these wonderful young ladies are going to come on and they're going to share their story and to share, their journey and where they are, and they're in such a great place. But things like that happen. And so they're going to talk about that because we just think that it, someone said that that was one of the topics that they thought that would be great on Let's Talk About It. And so we encourage you, if there's any topics that you think would be relevant, that would be great, that would be helpful for other people, this is the, the time or the platform to do it, whether, male, female, whatever. But it is a topic that affects, have affected so many families down through the years. But a lot of times, young people who've been abused as, or people in general, women, men, have been abused as a child or as a young person, and to no fault of their own, they get to a point and they have different challenges in life and relationships and things like that, and don't know why. And then to find out all these years after going through, therapy and healing and, healing and forgiveness and things like that, that they'll be able to talk about this. And so these two young ladies, I'm so excited about it, want to share the story and the journey. One is in the midst of writing a book. So that's going to be on. And then at the end of the month, we've got Trina Carter, who's going to come on. She's almost finished with her book as well, and she's going to talk about it. And so next month in June, we know that Father's Day is coming up, and we're going to have a male segment, but not just male. Female will be chiming or with males as it relates to fatherhood. So these are great, great topics that we want to talk about, and you can talk about it. Put it in our chat and just let us know what are some of those topics, but these are going to be great. So we like to get feedback. Please give us some feedback as to what, these topics are doing and any other topics that you see that is relevant. That's what Let's Talk About It is all about. Anything, ladies, that you like to say and share? Kadarius said, MMOV. Mighty Men.
Mighty Men of Valor.
Mighty Men of Valor. You're right, Kadaria. Yes. We need some mighty men of valor. Yeah. So we need to bring that. Kadaria, this is really good because some men never had a father. And how do they do it? Some men had a mother to raise them, but the mother was the mother and the father. Man, how did that do it? And if you were a mother and had to, play that role as a father, we heard that on Mother's Day, how those single women were able to raise great young men. And we're seeing a lot of production of that with young men that are graduating, and their mother was the one that helped them with their journey. That's going to be powerful.
But now we're seeing a lot of single fathers too now.
Yes, raising their children.
Yeah.
So that is so.
Single fathers.
So what do you think, Shawana? Any?
What I was going to say is next week, I'm just like you, excited about it. Excited.
I am. It's going to be powerful.
People that deal with have been sexually abused. I mean, I think it's a powerful topic. It's a lot of people that are healing from that.
Right.
Yeah.
You said are dealing with things in their present life. They stemmed from, something that could have happened in their childhood or even past childhood.
Right.
It's a topic.
How do you deal with it? How do you cope? How do you get over it?
One of the great things, and you're able to share that.
And you're able to share
and
it.
You're comfortable with it.
Right.
That's what,
because you're helping somebody else too.
Yes. You're not mad with anyone,
That's the
So thank you guys for, joining in with us on Let's Talk About It. We just want to come on for a few minutes and just kind of share that. But again, congratulations to all of the graduates, 2021 graduates. And also thank you for those that shared. Shawana, Granny is 87 years old. Okay.
Whoa, Granny.
Granny said, not happening here. But we also want to congratulate those who have taken the vaccine. And we say to you, if you've taken the first vaccine, please don't be foolish. Go back and get the second one. Yes, go back and get the second one.
Why would you get the
if
first and don't
that's
get the
what you've
second?
done. So thank you so very much. So again, this is Let's Talk About It with Alice, and we're coming up with some great other topics that we're going to be moving on down through the months, because guess what? We got to look at the holidays that are coming up. And again,
Yeah.
thinking about those masks and
Memorial
going
Day
places.
weekend,
4th of July.
Bye.
Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial Day, 4th of July. Yes.
It's coming.
That's going to be the
Ooh.
big thing.
Because the
The
Essence
proof is
Festival,
going. What'd you say, Terry?
the Essence Festival in July in New Orleans.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
You remember a lot of people got it. Huh?
Yeah,
Say that I think
right.
isn't incredible what some of the businesses are doing, how they kind of like the state of the baseball games and stuff like that. One of the things that they've done is they're like, okay, if you come into the game and you haven't been vaccinated, we will give you a shot. So they're setting up places, in the stadium for people to get shot. So I mean, I take my hat off, and give kudos. They
Grace
can-
was giving
Maria.
out free tickets.
Yeah. Marie Centron. Hey, Marie. Mariah. She said, I am a mother who's raised 3 boys alone, and now I'm having to learn to let them walk their own God-given path. She said this would be a good topic after graduation. All right, come on and let's talk
Oh,
about it.
wow.
Yes, I
3 boys.
agree.
That is
That is powerful. You
That is
gotta
something.
release and let them walk their own
On that,
God-given path.
right.
That's a great topic. We will remember that. That's
Yeah.
great. Thank you so much. Any other topics, those that have had an opportunity to listen to, let's talk about it. And maybe some topics that we've not covered. We love to stay relevant. We want to cover those topics that are very, very, relevant for this hour, and
Mhm.
that might be something that's on your heart. So
So
let's talk
I'm writing that down because that's a great topic. Letting go.
Huh?
I told Maria we're writing that topic down because it's a great one, and it's letting go.
Right. Let it
Great
go.
topic. Yes, great topic. So we'll definitely cover that one. That was another one, and I think I forgot, but we definitely will go back through and then we'll look at those topics that are really, really good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And shout out to Shawana. Happy anniversary. How many years?
28 years.
28.
No way. I am just taking back. 28 years. Can you
Jesus.
imagine that in this time? And just weathering 28 years when so many, I would say marriages fell apart during the pandemic because people had
Yeah,
to be
they
in the
did.
house with each other and they looking at each other like, who are you? Because they haven't spent any time together.
They said the
So,
divorce rate went up.
what'd you say?
I said they said the divorce rate went up during the pandemic. I said, oh my God, that's crazy.
Yes, that's another sad topic.
Let's bring the topic up though. Ian said this the other morning, and I was like, "Man, you're so right. Look at what happened. The almost two richest people, or some of the richest people, Bill Gates and his wife, and Jeff Bezos and his wife, during the pandemic. These are like the richest people, and a lot of people think that money answers all things or whatever. But these are like people that's got money growing out of their tongues. I mean, it's just just falling off of them. And yet they called it quits. These are people that want to get the best of the best help, counsel,
Yeah.
whatever. So it just lets you know that it's still is a lot of work.
It is.
Goes into it, and you have to make up your mind that no matter what, you're going to work through, the issues, and you're just going to move on. But most people don't take the time to just work through it, even when it gets hard. Or
Kim and Kanye West too.
Look at them. I mean, well, that was some, yeah.
Anyway.
That's a special case.
We are at this time now where if God's not in it, it's not going to work. You have to allow God to just intervene. I know that's another topic. But
Wait, the Gates been married for a long time.
Who?
20-something years, right?
Who?
Bill and
Gates and his wife, they was married a long time.
Yeah. Well, but rich doesn't mean nothing. Being
It
married. It really does,
That's
you
really
know.
freaking dope.
So these are conversations that, in terms of, I would love to see what the stats look like for the different races. You know, how does that look?
Both groups, all of it. I just think that it's heartbreaking when, you know, you see people that have been married that long and yeah, exactly, Sheena. Sheena says marriage is a full-time job. It is surely that.
My
It is.
God.
And it's heartbreaking though when you see people like that. They've been married for a long period of time and they and then they have to step away. That's
Yeah,
heartbreaking. You
yeah.
know?
The
So
other topic that someone brought up is kind of pushing aside. Um, going back to Black Lives Matters, I just want to mention this. And someone said to me yesterday, we're talking about Black Lives Matters and going through that. What about black on black crime and how high that is?
You know,
We are
you
on,
know,
what about
exactly.
that? And so I
What
think we
about,
had a
yeah,
conversation about
we
that
need to
one
talk about
time,
that.
right?
We need to talk,
We
yeah,
did.
but
And
but we can still,
in
because
the
it's still
greater
happening.
Atlanta area, it's just horrible.
Atlanta is getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was not always like that. It's getting really ridiculous.
Yes. So I just think that we need to, some topics we're gonna talk about, and then there are other topics we would love to bring someone on, to talk about it, and that's what we will do. Okay. So this month, I think it was colon cancer month. Yeah, I believe
Is
it
it?
was. Was that what what's his name? Chadwick Boseman
Oh
died
yeah,
with.
that's
All
exactly
right.
right.
Yeah, I think this month was that colon cancer month.
yeah.
Huh? Yeah.
No, March is.
March was. Oh, okay, March,
Okay.
but that's right. We missed it. So we didn't ever talk about that. And that's really big. So we say to anyone that, you're of age and able to get a colon, testing, you want to do that.
I want to
Really
do that.
important. What was the month of April? I mean, April.
African Americans, especially, it was March, but it's a topic. To your point, that's an important topic because particularly in African Americans, and to just get tested earlier, because if they can get to it earlier, it can get treated as opposed to once it gets too late. It's not.
Yeah.
And we still, and as African American, well, I'm gonna say all races, we just need to watch our diets. We just got to be so careful with our diets.
Yeah, that's like me. I went into the grocery store and I was hungry and I bought all kind of junk. I need
You
to
already
just-
know.
Need to
I'm
be
going to
delivered
store
and lay
hungry.
hands on myself.
I'm gonna lay hands on you too, because you know.
$132, probably $75 with junk.
Especially if you was hungry too. Everything was looking good.
Help me.
You wanted it all.
It's a wrap. You're gonna just.
I just tell us not to go in the grocery store hungry.
Yes. But I eat
And you
my
went
apple
right up.
every day. Eat my apple every day.
Well, yeah,
and
you
that's
sure
it.
do.
Yeah,
do that.
I'm an apple. Thank you, Faith. Keeping me with my ambrosia apples. Whoa, yes. But that's what my doctor said to me after my colonoscopy. She said, "Have you heard of an apple a day keep the doctor away?" I said, "Oh yeah, I've heard that down through the years." She said, "Eat your apple a day." And when I tell you, it really helped. Really helped in terms of cleansing. Really good.
Wow.
Yes. So, yeah. So
Eat them apples.
we thank you for logging on to Let's Talk About It. Next week, don't miss the two young ladies you are going to really enjoy. It's been a joy with our Let's Talk About It. We've been on since December, and we're still getting things. I would say comments that man would be waiting to see and waiting to hear. So yeah, we want you to hit the share. Also, you can share it again after we go off. Share it with your friend. If this is a great conversation.
Share
I
it.
didn't hear you.
Yeah, I said share it on your page. You can like it. And you can go to our Let's Talk About It with Alice page and you can
Please subscribe.
Yeah, so go click like on it and help spread the word.
Yeah, yeah. Help
Absolutely.
spread the word. And again, anybody is welcome to Let's Talk About It. We thank you. We say to you, love
Peace.
And
and
increase.
Increase.
and increase. Goodbye. Have a wonderful week, and we will see
Bye.
you back same time, same station here on Let's Talk About It with Alice. Thank you so very much. God
Thank
bless.
All
Bye
right.
bye.